Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to my channel on this beautiful June the 4th, 2021. It's 1:12 p.m. I hope everybody's doing great. Today is going to be a coffee talk, and I'm going to title this coffee talk Disturbing Things and quote unquote protest. Um, there's a lot of things that's going on in Puerto Rico, a lot of disturbing things, but at the same time, on June 1st, we started hurricane season. Not only that, but also on June 1st, the new energy company took over and is causing a lot of protest among a small group of people, which I don't have anything against protest, but I don't indulge or participate in things like that because of the simple fact that there's always a duplicity behind it. So we can see that. And not only that, they literally shut down one of the major highways going to San Juan for several hours. This has been going on since June 1st, and it's a protest against the contract of the Power Energy and Luma, which is the new face to our energy company. Regardless of what is going on with this sketchy contract, and regardless of whether it's accurate or is something that is just a duplicity and there's something more sinister behind this action, which is what is showing, because when you read the contract between the government and Puerto Rico and Luma, that contract is very sketchy and it has a lot of loops and holes. Not only that, but there's too many clauses that are very disturbing. The problem with these protests is that when you want to protest, you do not need to interfere in other people's lives. You can do whatever you want. After all, different minds, different mentalities. But I have not seen a successful protest yet. And even with the one in 2019 with the Ricky Renuncia, only to be in the predicament that we are. Not with a wolf in sheep's clothes, but with a rat sitting in a government seat, approving all the wrong things, not understanding that his regime is being thrown down and he's being set up. But then again, we are accustomed and used to seeing this already. This should not be a shocker to absolutely anybody. Most of these protests are not on behalf of the people, because in reality, we all got the right to protest. But from the looks of it, this is not a particular protest that the people are interested in. Luma just took over. We got to give them a chance for them to show their claws. As with everything, time tells a tale. Not only that, we're looking at it with this duplicity, the disturbing things that are coming out. But then again, we spoke about that at the beginning of this whole thing. So this shouldn't be a shocker to absolutely anybody. Yes, the virus is there, but it's not a virus that is found in nature. It's not a virus that we can successfully attribute to natural causes or environmental causes. But this is a virus that is very much lab related and manipulated, bioengineer. And it's becoming more evident that this particular unseen enemy is not found in nature. Yet, they will never tell you that, and they will hide it until the end. These people that we're dealing with will rather die by a lie than to actually tell the truth. They cannot tell the truth no matter how much they try. Even if they wanted to tell the truth, they can't. Because in reality, it's not to their best interest. Right now, this problem with Luma is not a people problem. It's more of a employee problem. And I will remind everyone, when you work for a electrical company, or when you work for a water company, or when you work for a telephone company, you are providing a service. It's not about the individual that works in the company, but it's about customer service, people service. So right now, what we're looking at is a whole bunch of employees that are not satisfied with the outcome. They are not satisfied with what is being offered, and they want to rebel, and they want to cause problems for other people. Yesterday, there were 2 people that needed medical attention that were heading to a hospital to do some type of procedure, and they never made it due to the protest. That is shocking, because an individual could die. Yet, who's responsible? Nobody. And this is why, and one of the reasons why I don't protest, and I don't recommend protest to nobody. Not only that, you're being labeled, and there are laws that protect individuals. You're not accessing or adhersing your rights when you are imposing them in other people. These people are supposed to report to work on Monday. And by Monday, all this is going to disappear. And they're going to have to shove their tongue where their sun doesn't shine. Because we're dealing with a narcissist mentality. Yes, the Luma contract is going to present problems for the majority of individuals living in Puerto Rico. So is the water company. A lot of people are not going to be able to pay their bills because of the simple fact that everything is going up, okay? Everything is being raised up, but yet your salary stays the same. Food is going up. Water is going up. Electricity is going up, but yet your salary remains the same. That's where the problem lies. This is not a power energy problem. This is a governmental problem. And there's something very sinister, wicked, and evil behind this contract. And we need to understand it for what it is. And it's sad and it's disturbing. Not to mention, the love of many is going cold. Because when you have an ambulance in front of you and you are not allowing the traffic to flow and you are halting traffic, you're imposing in many lives. Yet, we don't understand that protest doesn't lead nowhere. This narcissist protesting mentality, your opinion, does not reflect minds. Your protesting does not reflect what I think. This is where imposing comes in. And it's truly shocking to see that for what it is. Never in the history have we seen so many protests within the last 4 years. Protests here, protests there, but yet chaos and destruction follows. And we need to stay away from that particular aspect of protesting. And often protests are infiltrated by people that do not have the protesters' best interest at heart and just is there to cause chaos, mayhem, and destruction, and then remove themselves like the cowards that they are. And then when they are caught, they want to justify their actions. There's no justification here. You're an employee. If you're not satisfied with your job and you think that what they're doing is wrong, then go remove yourself and get another job. It's simple. But these are the things that are affecting normal people. people that are tired of the duplicity, of the sham, of the scam. One of the things that is terribly wrong with this island is the government. The government needs to be reconstructed. The government needs to be dismantled. And all the sour apples, all the thieves, all the embezzlers, all the cheaters, all the people that don't compose absolutely nothing but are there for self-gain, they need to be removed. And we need to put people that are willing to work. But because over here, they want to pass jobs and positions to family, grandmother, grandfather, brothers and sisters, the normal average individual doesn't get a chance to make a difference. And the chain of corruption continues. It's so ironic and so disturbing to see that the majority of politicians are lawyers, which can manipulate the law to their advantage, which the average normal person can't do, nor do they possess that type of qualification. So we need to start looking at things for what they are, because things are becoming too disturbing. And it's really sad to see. On a serious note, on an island so small, on an island that has the potential to flourish, on an island that life should be a lot easier, they make life miserable and complicated with everything that has to do with government. Instead of making it easier, they make things complicated. But that's not new. It's always been like that. For as long as I've seen government in action, it's always been like that. But the majority of us don't comprehend that, because the majority of us are not embedded with these people, nor do we care about these people. But they are the ones that are making our lives miserable with their laws. The same thing that you see here is the same thing that you see in the USA. The only difference is that we don't see that many agendas here like we do in the USA. A lot of duplicity. And we all know that with agendas, laws are often passed. We've seen that. It happens here too, but it's not as abundantly seen. Although you can trace just about everything that is going on to one key point, and that's government. Everything can be traced to these people. When you start tracing things to people, then you know where they're coming from. But until we realize and recognize what we're looking at, we are not going to make sense of it. And this is the disturbing things that are happening. And due to the government's BS, the people end up going against each other and killing each other for the sake of color, preference, or an individual that does not have their best interest at heart. And we're seeing a lot of that. And this is what's going on here. Yes, the Luma contract is very sketchy. And there's a lot of things there that many people, especially if you live in the island, you need to understand that are going to affect your life, such as the raising of bills when the economy is still the same, the raising in prices as far as food is concerned, where you spend $80, $100 and you only bring home 3 bags of food. It's incredible to see that. But as we progress, things are getting much worse. And the majority of us just don't understand that. And that's where we go wrong, on a serious note. And it's disturbing. It's really disturbing. It's disturbing to see this type of behavior on a continuous basis. And people just do not understand that you're dealing with a narcissist mentality, an opposition that just doesn't know when to say stop or when to quit. Protests don't solve absolutely nothing. I have not seen one. Just like I haven't seen one governmental official that has actually done anything good for the people. They always do a quote unquote and present themselves as something good, but in reality, it's the complete effect behind closed doors. And it's just getting old. And I don't trust these people. Nor would I ever trust any protest. It doesn't matter how it is affecting me. Protest is not the answer. The answer is hitting the root and the target and exposing them. But ain't nothing being exposed here. It's just a lot of screaming and a lot of talk, which absolutely makes no sense. 93% of the people in Puerto Rico don't read English. They will never understand the contract, nor can they understand the clause. And I don't think that the majority have read that. Because if they did, they will start asking a lot of questions. But then again, the same governmental office that put this entity in power is the same governmental office that's being set up for fall. Because they have an opposition here. And one of the things I've noticed about Puerto Rico, the socialism is killing Puerto Rico. And there's no need for that in a country where we are supposedly, quote unquote, Americans. We are not supposed to be embedded in socialism. Nor is socialism or dictatorship the answer to the problems of the island. But we're living in a socialist for over 80 years. Not only that, this is why we haven't made that much progress, because only a few are the ones that are benefiting themselves from the misery of the people. And continue selling lies and deception. And it shows. It really does. If they really wanted statehood, Puerto Rico would have been a state already. That's not the agenda. Laws are hard to change once passed. Puerto Rico has always been unincorporated. It's been that way. It's in the books that way. You need to change that law in order for you to move forward. But that's not what they're telling the people. And the majority of the people are just interested in more money and more money. For what? You don't need that much to survive on a small island. It's not like we are a state. We can't go nowhere. Everything has to come in through water or air. Comes to show how there's no peace. Everywhere that you go, you're going to have to face some type of disaster and disturbing agendas, disturbing actions from those that are supposed to protect the people. And I will remind everyone, the unseen enemy didn't arrive by plane. The unseen enemy arrived by boat. Comes to show how we depend and rely on sea travel. Just about everything has to come in a boat or an airplane. But nevertheless, this is the disturbing things that are happening. As far as the Luma contract is concerned, there's not really much I can say about that. Because in reality, after listening to a few people discussing the contract and listening to the problems of the government, which under any other circumstances I would have given 3 freaks about it, because in reality I don't trust the government. I don't believe in these people. I will never vote these people in. These people do not have my trust. I would never have looked into this. But because this is affecting me as a consumer and as a customer, so I need to look into it. Once you look into it, you start seeing the loops and holes going against the people and only benefiting those at the top. A big scheme. A big monopoly. Because this is what it is. The power company belongs to the people. The water company belongs to the people, not to private organizations. And they should not be privatized, because private organizations dealing with the public eventually is going to present a problem. Because when you're dealing with the public, you have to be responsible. And if you're asking for immunity, that's not good. You cannot run a productive company selling things and ask for immunity just in case somebody gets hurt with one of your products. You cannot sell things if you are not responsible for the things that you are selling. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right. Another thing that it's a concern as far as the Luma contract is concerned is that the company Luma came into effect January of 2020. And in June of 2020, they were awarded a contract for millions and millions of dollars. The contract, it came into effect on June 1st, 2021. There's no experience here. None. Reminds me back to 2017 during the Whitefish scandal and the small company with 3 employees that wanted to take the task of reconstructing the power structure here in Puerto Rico. Impossible. Impossible. You can bring tens of thousands of people from anywhere around the world to work in Puerto Rico in the infrastructure of the island. But if you do not have an overall view of where the towers are and how to navigate in the mountains, then you're completely useless. This is where hiring people that already work in the island and are familiar with the island become key evident, especially during emergencies, because they know the area, they know the infrastructure, they know how things work. It's very different to run an island versus just running a small city or versus having anything to do in the USA. This is a whole entire island. Not only that, we got 2 small islands that belong to this big island. They are power through the big island, which is Vieques and Culebra. So, what's the problem here? No experience. That's a big problem. Taking on close to 3 million customers, and you don't have no experience with the island, nor do they live here. So yeah, this is of concern, but you gotta give rope to people so they can hang themselves, because that's exactly what's going to happen with this contract. And this contract took effect on 6/1/2020. That's a number 12. That's a governmental perfection. This action is coming from diabolical forces, and it's not good, and it's a problem, and it alluring that there's something going on behind the scenes that the average individual doesn't know about. Oh yeah, most definitely. Numbers tell a tale, and numbers can tell you exactly who's behind it. This is governmental, and no, it does not come from our Heavenly Father, nor is it good. It's bad. But we are going to reap what we sow. The majority of us don't care, and some of us are just tired. We want to be left alone. We've been through a lot. A lot of things have happened in this island since 2016, and you know what? It's been something after something after something. We haven't caught a break. And what a coincidence. If it's not a hurricane, it's an earthquake. And if it's not an earthquake, it's the diabolical government that runs the island and has no compassion for the people, nor do they care for the people. And their socialism that is so clearly seen dictating the lives of people. This isn't Venezuela. This isn't Mexico. This is an island. A territory of the USA. These are Americans too. So why are we being plagued by socialism? Good question. And it would be nice to answer that. I'm not down with socialism. I'm not down with dictatorship. And I'm not down with this diabolical government. That it's evil in nature. And it doesn't do nothing for the people, but for itself. And it enriches itself through the demise of people. And that's what I see. That's what I've been seeing. So, who do we trust? Our ears or our eyes? Because one of them is deceiving us. So, heads up on that one. So basically, there's really no mercy or love being shown lately. people are just going about their way, interfering in other people's lives, causing chaos and destruction in other people's lives without ever thinking a second thought that you can protest on the side of the road. You don't have to impose your protest on the whole entire island and people that are having to go to work and others that have doctor's appointments or are leaving the island or whatever. And stopping traffic, it's not profitable, nor is it any good. So for the sake of 80 to 100 people, you're causing a problem for the majority. Comes to show, we're not interested in this protest. This isn't Ricky Renuncia, nor is this 2019. This is Luma, a privatization of the electrical company. We will have to see what they're going to do, their efficiency and their production. But these same people that are protesting are the ones that are causing a problem for this company to start working and for this company to prove itself to the people that they can do the job. Even as small as they are and as fairly new as they are with no experience, we have to give them a chance for them to hang themselves. That's how it works here. That's how it works here. And because the power company in the past has done such a bad job and hasn't manned up to its capability of doing a proficient job, we are at this point where people are up for a privatization. But is privatization the answer? Because you still got the old company still running the show. It's just a division between the face and who's behind the scenes. That's basically it. Luma is the face, and the AEEPR is the background. Give them a chance. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see how they work. Even though the contract is flawless and it's bound to fail because it's set up that way, we still gotta give them a chance. And we gotta prove what we're looking at and what we're reading and understanding to be correct, but not without giving them a chance. So, this is what is happening for what it's happening. And it's really sad to see this type of action being put forth by a few employees that are not happy with what is going on in the electric company, not thinking that they are employees and they need to excel in their customer service. You are there for the people. If you don't like your job, move on. But you cannot put your burden on other people nor cause this type of disruption because you're not satisfied or because you are not in agreement with a contract. Obviously, this had nothing to do with the people. This is governmental in nature. They made the decision. Nor is the P3 or Luma experienced to do the job. And the manpower is short. But this is what it is for what it is. And we need to wait and see if this hurricane season produces anything, how their response is, and measure it and be vigilant. And that's the only thing that I can suggest to people. Yes, the contract is a cause for concern. Yes, the contract is flawless. Yes, the contract looks like a few are going to benefit themselves. Yes, Luma wants to run the show, but they don't want to invest, but they want to profit. There's a lot of things that don't add up and don't make absolutely no sense. But we have to give them a chance and see what they do. Because in reality, there's not much anybody else can do at the moment without seeing the actions of them. Right now, the protesters are the ones that are imposing on Luma to do their job. They're blocking the trucks. They're blocking the energy company's truck entrance and exit. They're not allowing them to rehearse their job. They were in court this morning okay, where the protesters did not show up, which is another major concern, because if this was a legit protest, everybody will be in court right now. But because they know that what they're doing is not 100% correct, and it's not the way to go about this, then they didn't show up to court. So there's a lot of things happening here. On top of that, we're still shaking. On top of that, we are on hurricane season, and we got a lot of things to worry about than to be dealing with a few people that just want to make other people's life difficult for the sake of them not being happy with what is going on. Quit and get another job. It's that simple. But this protesting, this is a narcissist mentality. And you gotta feed into it in order for you to be down with this. Because in reality, everybody matters, and everybody is struggling with something. Not only that, we still under this unseen enemy. We're still under this duplicity. And time tells a tale, because in reality, most of the things that we already knew at the beginning of all this, it's coming out. It's coming out. This all came from the orange side. And we know that. Okay? The simple fact that they got a level 4 bioweapon lab, we already know what they're doing and the atrocities that they're doing. What we should be doing is getting educated as to how bioweapons work, especially in bugs and as far as viruses are concerned. Because in reality, this is what it is. And humanity is the target, and we don't understand that. And that's the sad part about this whole situation. And it's truly devastating that we lack education, we lack knowledge, and we just refuse to get educated or to seek out the information. But we're so quick to label all the people misinformation, label them as conspiracy theories, without giving a second thought that those words came from the same entity that is working behind the scenes in darkness against humanity. And that is to discredit all those that see the truth and are speaking the truth. Not everybody's crazy. Not everybody's crazy. What you see is what you're going to interpret. What you read is what you're going to have knowledge in. And we cannot deny anymore that things are coming from behind the scenes. And no, they're not normal, nor are they natural. So, and then we got the duplicity, which is the way to get back to normal, you know. And now we're entering a stage where, yeah, those that got the duplicity, you're going to be walking around without a mask. And those that don't, you're going to be walking around. We're going to have two kinds of citizens walking around. Oh yeah, those that are compliance and zombies, and those that are sheeps and lost and no, not to even dare to comply with this madness. That's exactly what we're seeing. So you can successfully say that they're turning us against each other, because now it gives a fuel for other people. When they see another person with a mask, it gives them a fuel to go against that person and to start harassing that individual, which there's no need for. If you want to go ahead and get poisoned, go right ahead and get poisoned, but do not take anybody else with you. If you want to take the rope and hang yourself, go right ahead. You have to give accounts for your actions. After all, this is decision making. You either make it or break it. That's about it. Your decisions are going to make you or break you. You're going to reap what you sow. But these people, they're going to start attacking those that are not in compliance. And it's coming. And it's coming. So now they want to open at its 75%, almost to 100% capacity. Yet, we still got the unseen enemy. The only difference is that we got about 60% of population that already got the duplicity. Oh yeah, a duplicity that comes with a little magnet. You can put a little penny or a nickel and it'll stick. Like you're walking around like with a magnet. Okay. I don't have much to say about that because I already exposed what nanotechnology is. I already spoke about that. So, and I already connected the dots. So, bottom line on that one, because in reality there's not much I can say about that. Madness, because it's madness, and anybody will be a fool to believe that this comes from nature when in reality this came from a lab. And no, nobody ate a bat, sadly. That would have made a lot more sense, but no. So we need to start asking ourselves, why are these people making these atrocities and experimenting with different viruses, experimenting with bioweaponizing bugs and spreading diseases all over the place? We need to examine that. But that's the least that people think. And we still got the fart all over the place saying that that's not possible, that this is nature, debunking. How long? Like, these people are so evil and wicked that they'd rather die by a lie than to admit the truth. And we're not in 1918 anymore. Technology is a dead giveaway. So use it. Because information is out there. And we need to connect the dots ourselves. But nevertheless, humanity is the target. And it's becoming more evident that that's the case. We cannot debate with that. So, this is pretty much it for this coffee talk. I hope everybody's doing great. Be safe and stay vigilant. We're in hurricane season. Anything can happen. Heads up to the Gulf of Mexico. You're up for the first 3 or 4 months. Most of the simulations is heading that way. So, keep an eye on the weather and keep your eyes on the water, because it's presenting a problem. And it's one we can fight. So, this hurricane season is going to remain to be seen, but nevertheless, I think it's going to be a disturbing one. If we can compare that to what happened last year and the year before, we can make an accurate prediction that we need to be on guard this hurricane season. Not only that, a lot of places are shaking, not just Puerto Rico, but there were 2 shakes in California back to back. So, heads up, California, on a serious note. Not only are you in hurricane season, but you're shaking and baking. So, take care, everyone. I'll see you all next time. And yeah, bless your path into the truth always, my friends. Stay safe and stay away from this narcissist madness mentality that is plaguing humanity and is worse than the virus itself. I'll see you all soon. Yeah, bless.